Joining me here right now is a guy who's got to be very clearly happy about what happened with his alma mater last night, but for his professional football team, a different story. Very pleased to have back here on the Rich Eisen Show, Dre Kirkpatrick of the Cincinnati Bengals. How are you, Dre?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Let's start with you physically. You hurt your quad in that Saturday night game against Pittsburgh. How are you right now?
I feel pretty good. Finally gave up the crutches this morning. Walking a little slow, but I'm still. As long as I'm getting around, that's all that matters.
So let's talk about that game on Saturday night. What was it like on the field from your perspective between the two teams, Dre?
For the most part, when I was out there, I think everything was pretty much normal and calm as possible. It was just a hard-fought game. But as I left, I went in and I was getting examined, and things started changing. Emotions started getting high, and guys started getting just chipping away. So as the game got going on, the intensity of the game did increase.
Well, what do you think ratcheted it up? Is there anything in particular? The Gio Bernard hit? Did the Bernard hit ratchet that up? The fumble?
Like I said, I wasn't really out there, but I think that probably did play a part in it, and then with him not being, flags not being thrown, and guys feeling the way that they were feeling, so I really don't know,
Were you out on the field at all in the second half, or you were inside the locker room second half?
I was inside the locker room.
Okay. So what have you heard post-game about what went down on the field after the Antonio Brown hit? Is there anything you could tell me from what you've heard about what was going on the field there?
It was obviously they say Vontaze, made a misjudgment hit, which, I don't want to be the spokesman on that,
Sure.
but, and then things got chippy with one of the coaches and Adam, and, at the end of the day, the guy shouldn't have been on the field, and, we got to be smarter about how we react to certain things.
So in terms of Vontaze Burfict, a dirty player is his label. He's gotten a suspension now for 3 games from the NFL. And Mike Silver, my compadre at the NFL Network and NFL Media Group, wrote in a column after that game, unnamed players say that it was only a matter of time till Burfict and Adam Jones cost the team a game based on their behavior. Would you agree with that assessment at all, Dre?
No, not really. At the end of the day, they could have been anybody. They could have been me out there if I was out there. They could have been anybody on the field. I just felt like his heart was in the game. He was trying to make a football play. Did he see him? Only person knows is Vontaze. We don't know. So that's something that he'll have to deal with. It's not my job to dictate that.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, man, he's a great teammate. He's a great leader in the locker room. We feed off his passion for the game. We feed off his energy on the field. And he's a great person to be around. And I just feel like his heart is just so big into the game. He only know one way, and that's to go full speed. But obviously, it kind of bit him in the butt a little bit.
Dre Kirkpatrick joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Look, I don't want to make you the spokesman for Adam or Vontaze, so I'm gonna open this up a little bit. It just seems, from my perspective, I said this at the top of the show, certainly after seeing last night's college championship game, there just seemed to be a complete lack of respect between professionals on the field. Just a lack of respect. And I'm wondering where that comes from. I mean, why can't, when it all's said and done, just understand that, yes, emotions get high and we feel that there might be a cheap shot here or there, but why take the cheap shot in the first place, Dre? Is there any way that you can try and make heads or tails as a professional why there was such a lack of respect on the field and why that can't be caught in real time and stopped, Dre?
I mean, at the end of the day, we just still got to look at what game we playing. We still playing football, and obviously the rules have changed. But back in the days, these rules we wouldn't even be sitting here talking about this if we were still playing in the old days. But guys, the rules they still matter and they still apply. But obviously, guys, are still, it's still a dominant game, and guys still put themselves in bad situations, which, it's hard to get out of, because at the end of the day, if we was talking about this maybe 12, 20 years from now, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It just, the rules of the game is changing. It's making it look so violent, but we can pull up plays from where guys made hits like those, and there was never a flag. There was celebration. There was that. So it's just the nature of the game, and we so old school with the rivalry is so old school, and it take you back so far. But at the end of the day, we got to learn. We got to pull each other together, and we got to know as professionals, we can't act like that.
So a lot of people are laying this at the feet of your head coach, Marvin Lewis. How do you respond to that, Dre?
With everything that's going on, I feel like he's handling everything well. This is a player's game. I always say that. It's not for him to be out there making the plays, and he can't control everybody's actions either. And it's really not his responsibility to be out there grabbing guys, pulling guys to the side. We ought to be grown. We ought to be professional about that. So to the defense of my coach, I feel like, that's all on the player. That's all on us. That's not on him, because at the end of the day, he prepared us the best way he could possible.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people are just saying, Dre, that I'm not one of them, by the way. I love Marvin Lewis, and I think that there are people on your team, and you have defended them. You said Vontaze Burfict last week has a happy place, which I enjoyed that conversation that we had last week. That having Burfict and Jones go off in that manner is something that Marvin Lewis should have stopped weeks ago, months ago, by telling them over and over again what not to do and how to comport yourself on the field. I imagine he's done that, Dre. That's what people are saying about.
I mean, he's addressed it. He's addressed it, and we like to keep a lot of stuff in the locker room. But at the end of the day, he addressed it. But it's not his job to run off the grown men and try to discipline them and walk them hand by hand. It's our job to be professionals, come to work every day, do what we need to do, and do it the best way we can to provide for our families.
Last question for you on this. You've got a 9-year-old that you've mentioned playing football, looks up to you, said now it's time for you to go win a championship after he won his. What do you tell him if he's watching a game like that and seeing players go after each other and have pushing and shoving unsportsmanlike conduct? Do you have a conversation with him about this? Has he asked you about it? Anything like that, Dre?
Yeah, and my message to him is, timing is everything. Sometimes you want it so bad that it just may not be the perfect time for you to receive it. Maybe a little bit more mature, a little bit more growing that you need to go through to be able to handle that level of success. And the Super Bowl, what type of success and what type of spotlight that it draws upon you, and and that's what I just try to tell him, man. Maybe it's just something that I need to do better, and I don't, because at the end of the day, I never want to point the finger at anybody, because there's always something that I feel like I could have did to better the team, and that's what I always want to instill in him. Don't never make a judgment off somebody else's actions. Always make it off what you could have done better to help the team win.
Dre Kirkpatrick of the Bengals joining me here the day after your alma mater took it down. What do you think of that victory last night, Dre?
I told you.
You did.
I told you.
You did tell me that.
Roll Tide.
But I mean, 24-24. What'd you think of your coach pulling that pop kick out of the bag, the onside?
Oh man, listen. Now that blew me away, because I told him, I said, that was the only play that nobody ever would expect Coach Saban to do. We never ran that play. We never really ran onside kicks. If we ran an onside kick, that was because it was well needed. But other than that, we never. He don't play around with those things, because at the end of the day, he know when he do it, it's gonna be at the right and perfect time. And right there, it couldn't have been no better call than that one.
Yeah, I mean,
give credit to Bobby Williams, because Bobby Williams is the special team coach. And I already know he probably been waiting to pull that one out of his head.
That's right. Apparently, Lane Kiffin had to tell the offensive players not to give it away. That it was coming, and nobody saw that one coming. I mean, of all the plays that for Nick Saban to pull out of his bag so you're saying he doesn't even have a bag of tricks usually, based on your knowledge?
I mean, yeah, we got him, but at the end of the day, we never run them. My 3 years at Alabama, how many trick plays did we run on special teams? You know?
Right. Okay.
I can't remember one. Not one. I can't remember not one.
And the thing we couldn't believe, and we showed it on one of our television-only segments last hour, was when Mark Ingram went out for the coin toss, and Derrick Henry was standing right next to him. He was, I mean, Ingram came up to his, sternum. I mean, he came up to his chest. I mean, here comes Derrick Henry into this league. How do you think Derrick Henry is going to, just take the Crimson Tide love out of the way? You know what it's like to have a running back maybe come at you and the business decision you may have to make. How do you think Henry's going to fare at the next level, Dre?
Taking with the Crimson Tide, at the end of the day, man, I just feel like he can't get complacent. He can't let where he at right now dictate where he's going to be in the NFL because, this is a grown man sport, and guys gonna be looking out to hit him. Gonna be ready for the challenge, and that's what he's not gonna pretty much be used to because guys in college ain't gonna let him know that on a day in, day out, we come and get you every play, want you, get up talking smack, get in your face. That's going to be a little different for him. And, guys on this level is not going to be scared. So, he's always got to be able to work and always continue to try to better himself.
Dre, I appreciate you taking the time here after a loss. You're banged up yourself to call into the show. And last question for you. Do you think Vontaze Burfict deserved a 3-game suspension from the NFL?
I didn't. At the end of the day, we don't really know what he was thinking at that moment. Like I said, I don't think he's seen the guy. If he did, he only knows. But the league has, if they're gonna step down on Vontaze, they need to make this more clear for everybody to understand what's really going on. Step in when other guys are doing the same thing and just not singling one guy out because he has a so-called target on his back.
Dre, thanks again. When you come to Los Angeles, you're going to stop by here, right? Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, man. Me and my friend Nick Fairley were just talking about coming out there for a week, so maybe I can have him with me.
Yeah, come on in. Come on in. Let's hang out. I'll have all the Kirkpatricks, as many as you'd like. We got enough chairs here. Thanks, Dre. Thanks for calling him. You bet. That's Dre Kirkpatrick.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.